The union representing air traffic controllers says a chronic shortage of controllers has reached a crisis. It will lead to widespread flight delays if left unchecked.
The National Air Traffic Controllers Association says the Federal Aviation Administration has failed to meet its hiring goals for controllers for 5 straight years. According to union officials, that leaves the number of controllers at its lowest level in 27 years at a time when air traffic is on the rise. The union adds the number of certified professional controllers has fallen 10% from the recent peak in September 2012.
That's correspondent Jeremy House. Rangers at a national park in Zimbabwe have found the remains of 26 elephants at 2 locations, additional victims of cyanide poisoning. The announcement comes a week after 14 other elephants were killed by similar poaching tactics. No arrests have been made yet. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Mark your calendar for October 22nd through 24th as Saints Constantine and Helen Greek Orthodox Church in Newport News presents the Newport News Greek Festival Fall Edition, an indoor event inside the Hellenic Center. Enjoy Greek food, desserts, beverages, arts and crafts, and much more. Located at 60 Traverse Road off exit 258B on Route 17 in Newport News. For more, log on to newportnewsgreekfestival.org. See you at the Newport News Greek Festival Fall Edition, October 22nd through 24th. Opa!
When it comes to automobile service in Hampton Roads, Fink's Car Care is the destination locals have counted on for decades. Family owned and operated, they specialize in transmission service, oil changes, state inspection, radiator service, tires, alignments, and showcase Win Automotive products. Fink's does it all. Military and senior discounts are available. Find them on Facebook and visit them on South Military Highway in Chesapeake and Victory Boulevard in Portsmouth, Monday through Saturday. For more, log on to finkscarcare.com and call 545-3573 today. Chesapeake, Virginia, 1650 AM WHKT presents Sports Scene. Sports Scene features local, regional, and nationally acclaimed guests and excellent interviews. Follow Sports Scene on Twitter at Greg Bick and at GJBTV.com. Now here is Greg Bicouvaris.
And Kenny, before we start the show, if the Republicans cannot win the election in 2016 after seeing that debacle of a debate last night, they're never going to win. And the second thing, Kenny, is how the heck did Bernie Sanders ever get elected to anything? Anything. Well, just tell me.
There are a lot of people out there who are easily fooled, duped, stupid, don't do their homework, like to believe anything they're told. There's just a lot of people out there who just don't have a clue, I'm sad to say.
And Ronald Reagan at one time was a Democrat and, of course, a Republican. But after watching last night, if the Republicans cannot win, unbelievable. All right, editorial note by yours truly. As we start Sports Scene every Wednesday from noon to 1, live right here on News Talk 1650. TuneIn.com, type in WHKT to listen on your phone or your computer. Great audio provided by Ken Johnson, as always, and producing. This is your home for talk radio. Tell your friends about 1650 on Facebook, on Twitter. Go to gjbtv.com. You'll see all 4 of my Twitter handles right there, primarily Greg Bick. Thank you to our military. Great guest lineup as well. Sponsors on gjbtv.com homepage, as well as the Marketplace sponsors page. Guest lineup presented by Fink's Car Care. Phone line presented by Hampton Roads Online Mall.com. That's Hampton Roads OnlineMall.com. Browse, shop, visit. Thank you to Me Hogar, Newport News Greek Festival, Spaghetti Eddies, and Fink's for the month of October. Hard to believe, less than 2 months left this year. Redskins, well, they're 2-3. Ravens aren't much better. They're 1-4. In fact, they're worse. Postseason Major League Baseball going on. Congratulations to the Cubs. Moving on to the NLCS with a nice win yesterday, of course, and you got the Rangers, Blue Jays, Astros, Royals in the baseball postseason. And, of course, always thank you to our great sponsors, too. In the opening segment, PapaJohns.com, official pizza sponsor of the NFL. Create your own pizza at Papa John's on Twitter. Find them on Facebook. Papa Rewards, better ingredients, better pizza at Papa John's. We'll come back with some great guests. Sports Scene on News Talk 1650 after these messages. The place for authentic Indian food is the India Palace. They feature authentic Indian cuisine, have a party hall, and do catering and banquets. Open daily for lunch and dinner, they showcase an excellent lunch buffet at their Chesapeake and Virginia Beach locations. Visit their 2 locations at 1437 Sam's Drive in Chesapeake off of Battlefield Boulevard and 5600 Virginia Beach Boulevard in Virginia Beach, and online at IndiaPalaceVB.com. On Facebook, look for India Palace Virginia Beach and India Palace Bar and Grill. Dine at the India Palace today.
When it comes to automobile service in Hampton Roads, Fink's Car Care is the destination locals have counted on for decades. Family owned and operated, they specialize in transmission service, oil changes, state inspection, radiator service, tires, alignments, and showcase Win Automotive products. Fink's does it all. Military and senior discounts are available. Find them on Facebook and visit them on South Military Highway in Chesapeake and Victory Boulevard in Portsmouth, Monday through Saturday. For more, log on to finkscarcare.com and call 545-3573 today. Good Italian food, daily specials, and a place people enjoy is Spaghetti Eddie's. Indulge in your mouth-watering pizza, pasta, subs, salads, appetizers, and desserts. Open 7 days a week. Log on to SpaghettiEddiesPizzaCafe.com and visit them at Taylor Road and on Eden Way North in Chesapeake for lunch and dinner. Like them on Facebook. Italian food you can count on is at Spaghetti Eddie's.
Mark your calendar for October 22nd through 24th as Saints Constantine and Helen Greek Orthodox Church in Newport News presents the Newport News Greek Festival Fall Edition, an indoor event inside the Hellenic Center. Enjoy Greek food, desserts, beverages, arts and crafts, and much more. Located at 60 Traverse Road off exit 258B on Route 17 in Newport News. For more, log on to newportnewsgreekfestival.org. See you at the Newport News Greek Festival Fall Edition, October 22nd through 24th. Opa!
Now back to Greg Bicouvaris and Sports Scene in the Hampton Roads Online Mall.com studio.
Rack City chick, 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 10, 20s and a 50s chick, rack city chick, rack city chick.
All right, welcome back to News Talk 1650. This is Sports Scene, your 10,000 watt voice of Hampton Roads. Turn it on, lock it in, 1650 AM. Also, tunein.com, type in WHKT to listen on your phone or your computer. Greg Bicouvaris along with Ken Johnson up until 1 o'clock. Glad you're with us right here for Sports Scene right here. Let's welcome the brand new coach of the Norfolk Admirals, Mr. Veilleux. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Very good, very good. I guess you're getting ready for a new season, Erica. What are the challenges for you, for the most part, coming to this area?
Well, you know what? We want to get the team ready. We just got off the ice like 2 minutes ago. We've had 2 great weeks of practice, and we're very excited for the start of the season on Friday.
When you talk about your background, of course, I know you spent a lot of time growing up in Canada. What is your opinion about how hockey has evolved, first of all, in Canada from the time you were a youngster to some of the players now playing in the ECHL, the AHL as well?
Well, hockey has changed a little bit. The leagues obviously implementing more rules and being a little stricter about it makes it that I think the pace has gone a lot faster than what it used to be. Even though, even when I played as a player, the guys are so big, so strong, and fast right now nowadays that it makes it for at whatever league, at whatever level, a very exciting game to watch for all the fans.
We're talking to Eric Veilleux. This is Sports Scene, the brand new coach of the Norfolk Admirals, of course. And you talk about how big Quebec was a part of your upbringing, Quebec Major Junior Hockey League, and also Jared Scaldi as well.
Yeah, Skulls. It was my first year coaching professional hockey last year, and there was other opportunities that came up earlier in my junior coaching career, but did not feel that this was the right fit or the right time for me to leave. And when this one came last year with the Admirals, the Anaheim farm team with Jared, a player an individual I had a chance to play hockey with and had a great relationship with. So I know we just felt as a family that the fit was right. The place was obviously unbelievable. Coaching hockey here in Virginia has been great, and the whole pattern, the whole fit was just perfect for us. So decided to leave, and now we all know hockey is always full of surprises, and ended up being or staying here as the head coach of the new East Coast team, the Admirals. So I'm very excited. The whole family is excited. The kids are at school already. They don't have to move. Us having to move from Shawinigan to Baie-Comeau 3 years ago, and then from Baie-Comeau to here last year, not having to move this season, made it also very exciting for us.
Talking to Eric Veilleux, the coach of the Norfolk Admirals and now the East Coast Hockey League, and of course Montreal native, playing in Laval as well growing up. That helped you too, didn't it, Laval?
Yes, I started playing Junior A in Hawkesbury in Ontario, and my goal was to get a scholarship like many kids want to do here in the United States. And for some reason there was half scholarships offers, and there was like 3/4, and at that time my dad was fairly strict, to be honest. I had to go to school, so he gave me the choice: if you want to go major junior, fine, but you need to go to university at the same time, which I did, and ended up having 2 great years at the major junior level, and had a chance to go to my first NHL training camp with the Quebec Nordiques. I can't remember the years. It's been quite a while. I think it was 93, maybe 94. And 3 days into the camp, Pierre Paget got me in his office and offered me a contract. And I was like, wow, that's nice. So to be honest, in my mind, I was playing 4 years of junior and then university. But as I mentioned before, hockey is always full of surprises, and I ended up playing in the American Hockey League for quite a while, and now coaching at the pro level.
Of course, this station, 1650, carries the Admirals right here on the radio. Also, tunein.com, type in WHKT, and a big weekend coming up, starting the weekend at home. I know you're happy about that.
Yes, everybody's very anxious to get going. Even though it's been a short training camp and we only had a chance to play one preseason game, I think the guys are excited to be here. They've been great at practices, working very hard, competing, and I'm sure they're very, very excited to show what they can do on the ice on Friday. And
you got Wheeling coming up.
Yes, exactly.
Well, when you talk about your roster with the short training camp, what are the pros and cons of that? I guess the pros are you get thrown right to the fire. The cons are you didn't have a whole lot of time to work together. What do you think about the roster, and talk about your coaching staff as well?
Well, the coaching staff, I had a chance to Ben Boudreau was already in place when I got hired, and the first time we met, we just clicked. He's a hard worker. He likes to do tons of stuff. He knows his hockey. He's been obviously raised in a hockey family with his dad, Bruce Boudreau, coaching the Anaheim Ducks at this time right now, and who I had a chance to be coached by the way. Bruce was my coach, my last coach playing pro hockey. Great personality, great coach, and also brought back Mark St. Marks, who was with the organization before. He was working with us last year as a conditioning coach, along with John Vaillancourt from the Hampton Roads Whalers, and also Ryan Anderson, who was going to be coaching at the junior level, who we hired as an assistant coach, video coach. So I'm very pleased with the staff we were able to bring on the team. As far as the style of play we're going to be playing, we're still working on a lot of stuff. It's been a slow-paced week of practices, in a sense that there's a lot of system stuff that we needed to go through, and that's probably one of the cons, not having much time for training camp that we may have to face when the games come. Not to say that we will look unorganized, but the structure obviously is not going to be up to par, which is fine, and our main goal was to have a team that competes hard, that works hard, and that they have been doing for 2 weeks. So I'm not really worried about the type of what type of compete level we're going to see. And the guys are fired up to be here. Very exciting, and very excited about where they're living and all this. They love the city, and they're very anxious to meet the fans. Actually, we do have a meet and greet tonight, I believe, and everybody's pretty excited to meet some Virginia people.
Right, I got to tell you, I had some family that lived in Montreal as a kid. There's no better city in the world than Montreal, though. I got to tell you that.
No, it's nice. It is nice.
Yeah.
Montreal is nice too.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's don't forget Montreal now. Okay, talking to Eric Veilleux. Eric, you talk about Boudreau, and you were right on the money, and I'm just going to say this, folks, too, that was the biggest mistake the Capitals made, was getting rid of Boudreau a few years ago. He brought a lot of energy to the Capitals, to the NHL, and to the hockey region, and to me, they have not been the same since they got rid of Boudreau. I think it was a bad decision the Capitals made, Eric.
Well, I'm not the one to comment on that. You
right.
know what? That's a tough job, very tough job that we have. And the thing is, this is a decision we take growing up that we want to coach. And sometimes it ain't easy. People may be critical, which is fine. This is something we agree to deal with. And you know what? And believe me, I went through. I'm not going to say I had a chance to go through some bad times, but it's not a chance. But I did have, like, our Memorial Cup year, the year we were hosting, we got eliminated second round, and you know, believe me, it was from the house to the rink. Usually I get my coffee, and in Canada there's Tim Hortons coffee. I used to get one every morning, but during those 30 days, I had someone else bringing me a coffee at the office. It was house, car, or the arena. Yeah. So it's, you know what, that's the life we live, and you know what, we're okay with it. The family's good. It is a tough job, but fortunately about Bruce, you know, he was able to find himself another place to play or to coach not too long after that happened. And you know what, we all know that the Anaheim Ducks have been doing very good since he's been there. So you know,
that was just my opinion. But let me just say this: that's the only knock on the NHL, is that the managers, the coaches, they don't. You know, if the owners get impatient, sometimes you see them, and even NBA coaches getting fired pretty quick. It happens in the NFL once in a while, but not as much. But it seems like the NHL and the NBA, sometimes there can be a short leash if they're off to a bad start because there's so many games.
Yeah, and you know what? There's some. You know what? We're, as coaches, we're very fortunate to have a chance to do what we like, what we love, what we know the most, and it's honestly a privilege to be able to do that job. And but the cons come with it,
right?
And that's something, like I said, no one forced me or forced Bruce Boudreau or forced any coaches to coach. You know, it's a choice we take, it's a choice we make, and as long as the whole family is, you know, agrees to it, you know, you go for it, and you know what, whatever happens.
We're talking to Eric Veilleux, the head coach of the Admirals. Greg Bicouvaris, glad you're with us up until 1 o'clock, and he'll be with us another few minutes. Well, let's talk about the ECHL. What do you know about it? You got Wheeling, you got Florida, Orlando, Quad City. What are your thoughts, talking to the various people around the ECHL about what your team is in store for this year?
You know what, whoever we face at this time, at this point of the season, and you know what, with all the respect to all of them, not to say that we're not going to pay too much attention to it, but before trying to adjust to other teams, you need to have your system in place and have your own team playing the way you feel they can play. Then once this is installed, well, you know what, you can start looking at other teams. But there may be a few tweaks here and there, knowing who we're facing in advance, but as far as I'm concerned, for the next weekend anyways, we need to do our own things and go from there. That's
pretty much fundamentals, correct, Coach?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know what, there's coaches that like to know everything, and they will adjust to whatever the other team does, and our system that's going to be in place is going to be built around not having to do that many tweaks, not changing too much every day. And sometimes we may get beat on one play, but then we may tweak it. But as far as the rest goes, you know what? Any system is a good system. The key for a coach is to make sure that all the players believe in it and it's well applied.
Mm-hmm. Talking to Eric Veilleux, the head coach of the Norfolk Admirals. Greg Bicouvaris, glad you're with us right up here until 1 o'clock on Sports Scene every Wednesday from 12 to 1. Don't forget sports highlights on nnpstv.com. And how about in-game adjustments, Eric? That's always something that's a work in progress. And as far as the roster size, how many active players will be on the roster, the total count?
For the first 30 days, we are allowed having 21 on the roster, on the active roster, plus 2 on the reserve list. And right now, at this point, we do have 1 on the injured list. That's going to be kicking in today for 21 days. So that's got 24 players is going to be our roster for the first 30 days, and then we need to cut down 1 from there.
Mm-hmm. So what are your thoughts about the staff? You got a really good staff there. You got a great general manager. The people around you are so important to get people attending to the Norfolk Scope and go to the game. A lot of it's the before and after. Like you said, you got a meet and greet as well this week, but so much of your staff behind you makes the team too.
Yeah, and you know what? That was another reason why I was very excited about staying here. And Joe Gregory has been awesome, and then how about the front office staff? Those are people that work really hard, promoting the hockey team, working for the hockey team, whether it be in season tickets or sponsoring or special events, or even bringing guys to hospitals, schools, and stuff like that. There's a lot of people that work hard, and it's a great staff. Everybody gets along, and it was just a no-brainer for me. If I had a chance to be here, that I was going to say yes and agree to it, and it happened. So I think everybody's very excited for the season to start right now.
Yep, and you guys are part of the Edmonton Oilers, correct?
Yes, we are.
How much does it help that you grew up watching them a little bit, and how much communication do you have with the staff today?
You know what? I'm in I'm very close communication with Bill Scott. He's the assistant GM in Edmonton, and we talk pretty much at least every second day, sometimes a few times a day. They've been awesome, to be honest, as far as helping us getting players. They did get some guys down. They did sign some guys that we liked and all that. So they've been very, very helpful, and it's a great relationship that we have. Very pleased with everything so far.
All right, and final question. What style of brand are you going to play? I mean, just give us when you talk about your upbringing, what type of style will we see on the ice this season for the fans?
Well, my first word, the first word that came in my mouth when we met with those players, and it had something to do with work ethic and competing. Mm-hmm. And I've been very demanding about that aspect of the game in practices, and we're going to keep hammering on that. We want an exciting team to watch, a fast-paced team, a team that competes, a team that can come from behind, that never quits. That's what we are looking at getting. Obviously, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen every day, every game, but at the end of the day, our job is to get into playoffs and do good things in playoffs. And we all know that there's not many teams making them. There's many teams not making them, and we want to be part of the playoffs. This is our main goal, to be honest.
Eric, so much is the effort behind the scenes. They have to have good habits before they get to the ice. It's
exactly. And you know what? Everybody makes mistakes.
Sure.
Everybody's going to make mistakes, during the season. Even in playoffs, we would play in the final, Game 7.
Right.
We would make mistakes, and the other team's going to make mistakes too. But there's mistakes that, like not competing, ain't a mistake.
Right.
And being lazy ain't a mistake. those are the things that we need to make sure that it's engraved in their brain and in their computer, like I call it. And you know what? From there, we're giving ourselves a chance to win every game. And there's going to be some good breaks, some bad breaks, but you need to control what you can, and the work ethic, the compete level, determination, respect of each other and all that. You know
Right.
what? These are things you control.
And the fans like the fighting, but the coaches like the control, like you said. Eric, all the best to you, my friend. Thanks for your time and your talent and your treasure. All the best to you and your family down here in Norfolk, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
My pleasure as well. All right. Thank you so much, Ken. Right there, brand new coach. We get him exclusively right here on News Talk 1650 Sports Scene, live and local with Eric Veilleux. Really interesting gentleman. And, of course, you got to love his enthusiasm.
Yeah, he sounds like he's all set to go and win some games.
Yes, and we'll find out right here on 1650. Kenny, take it away for Sports Scene.
I have a crash, 264 eastbound, just past Newtown Road. It's in that far right lane, which is occasionally a travel lane, but not before 4 o'clock in the afternoon, which may have caused that crash. So keep an eye out for that. News is next. It's 12:30.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. The Israeli military has started deploying hundreds of troops in cities across the country. Those troops will be helping police deal with a wave of deadly Palestinian shooting and stabbing attacks. The campaigns of Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders are each declaring last night's Democratic debate a success. An investigator with the NTSB says 2 people were killed when a small plane crashed into a mobile home park in Florida. Happened last evening. Investigators say one of the deaths was that of the pilot. The other was someone who was on the ground. Lower energy prices helping to keep overall inflation in check, according to the government's latest producer price index. Stocks are lower on Wall Street. The Dow is down about 99 points. The Nasdaq Composite Index is off 7, and the S&P trading 5 points in the red. More details at srnnews.com.
Do you have a family member who's getting older and can no longer be safely left alone? With Visiting Angels America's Choice in Senior Home Care, your parents and older family members can continue living at home and not have to move into a nursing home. Experienced, compassionate caregivers provide assistance in hygiene, meal preparation, and light housework up to 24 hours per day at affordable rates. To restore your family's peace of mind, call Visiting Angels toll-free today at 877-374-LIVE or at visitingangels.com.
The following is a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
I had numerous credit cards, and I was struggling with paying them off, so I made the call.
If you're in debt and you need help, call Trinity at 1-800-758-5360.
The people at Trinity are very friendly. They will do whatever you need them to do in order for you to feel better about being in a very difficult place.
If your debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-758-5360.
Mark your calendar for October 22nd through 24th as Saints Constantine and Helen Greek Orthodox Church in Newport News presents the Newport News Greek Festival Fall Edition, an indoor event inside the Hellenic Center. Enjoy Greek food, desserts, beverages, arts and crafts, and much more. Located at 60 Traverse Road off exit 258B on Route 17 in Newport News. For more, log on to newportnewsgreekfestival.org. See you at the Newport News Greek Festival Fall Edition, October 22nd through 24th.
Opa! When it comes to automobile service in Hampton Roads, Fink's Car Care is the destination locals have counted on for decades. Family owned and operated, they specialize in transmission service, oil changes, state inspection, radiator service, tires, alignments, and showcase Win automotive products. Fink's does it all. Military and senior discounts are available. Find them on Facebook and visit them on South Military Highway in Chesapeake and Victory Boulevard in Portsmouth, Monday through Saturday. For more, log on to finkscarcare.com and call 545-3573 today. Now back to Greg Bicouvaris and Sports Scene in the Hampton Roads OnlineMall.com studio. It's now time for Greg's Highlights, presented by HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com.
Thank you very much, Ken Johnson. Glad you're with us at 12:33. Greg Bicouvaris, this is Sports Scene up until 1 o'clock. I want to welcome you to the Butcher's Son Chop House in Chesapeake, serving the finest in steaks and seafood. This premier establishment serves antibiotic-free, hormone-free, and humanely treated beef, poultry, and pork. Like the Butcher's Son Chop House on Facebook, and they are open 7 days a week at 5 p.m. with Sunday brunch at 9 in the morning. You got to try this place, folks. Call 410-5466 and visit them at 500 South Battlefield Boulevard in the Great Bridge Marketplace for a dining experience to remember. Of course, I want to thank the coach of the Admirals, Eric Veilleux, of course, in the ECHL. Highlights, of course, gjbtv.com, archive shows. All you have to do is go to gjbtv.com, click the YouTube link, shop on the Marketplace sponsors, save the date for Sports Scene every Wednesday. That's today, folks, 12 to 1. Business Spotlight scenes coming up, always a lot of fun. What Tees Me Off, sports highlights on nnpstv.com, gjbtv.com, great guest as well. And, of course, the encore presentation tonight on Cox Cable 47 517 in Newport News is, of course, Denby and Warwick. Ken, who have we got on the phone, my friend?
At Randall.
All right, let's welcome Randall Smith. And Randall, how are you, my friend?
Hey, I'm not bad. How are you, Greg?
Very good. All right, this segment is presented by Nimbus Vapes. Live to vape, vape to live, right there in the Princess One Shopping Center, 3813 Princess Anne Road. Find them on Facebook and Instagram at Nimbus Vapes, and of course, great establishment. Randall, I got to tell you, my friend, we're talking about vaping this segment. That the expansion and growth of it in Hampton Roads is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's definitely grown a lot. We're up to, somewhere around almost 100 shops now in the area.
Where did it come from? I mean, all of a sudden, it just seemed like it popped out of the blue, and you see vape stores everywhere in the southeastern Virginia.
It's been around for a while, but I think the main reason why it's kind of starting to bloom and blossom like it is right now is because the technology is just so much better than it was early on. What really was a headache when it first started, and now it's getting to the point where it's easy and the success rate's going up to get people off these cigarettes, and that's really what the cause behind it booming now.
I think it's great because, if you can get somebody off a bad habit, that's really good. And well, explain to the fans out there what is vaping, and there's a lot of different flavors too.
Yeah, you can pretty much get everything under the sun. I mean, but basically what you're doing is you're taking U.S. pharmaceutical grade ingredients and turning them into a vapor-like substance, and it's just an alternative way of delivering your nicotine. So you get the nicotine without all the harmful chemicals and all the thousands of things that you would find in a cigarette that are going to give you cancer and whatnot. I
think that's great. Anytime you can do something positive like that, but there's no great habits. But of course, Hampton Roads, my goodness, they've really embraced it. No matter where you go, from the peninsula to the south side, Randall, you've seen vape stores. And of course, what is e-juice?
It's basically just artificial flavors, and then you have vegetable glycerin and propylene glycol. Vegetable glycerin, which you would find in a fog machine, things like that, and propylene glycol is used in children's nebulizers and ways of delivering medication in a very similar way. So it's like I said, it's just basically getting your nicotine without all those other harmful ingredients. And
of course, Ty's got a great store. I know you and him are good friends.
Oh yeah, Ty's an awesome guy. He's got a great store out there in Virginia Beach, and definitely check him out. He's doing good things over there, getting people off the cigarettes. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, that's really a good thing. Princess One Shopping Center, 3813 Princess Anne Road in Virginia Beach. You can find Nimbus Vapes on Facebook and Instagram as well. And of course, what do you recommend for the first time person vaping?
There's a few starter kits out now that are relatively affordable and easy to jump into it. There's a Kanger Subox Mini starter kit. It's basically your tank, your battery, everything all in one. And these devices are getting a lot better, a lot safer in terms of just safety functions for making sure it doesn't auto fire, things like that. Mm-hmm. Getting a button pressed in your pocket, stuff. So the starter setups now are just awesome. Definitely, if I can get somebody in something like that, then they're gonna 80% chance usually they're gonna be off of it. If they want to be off of it, they're definitely gonna be off.
Very good, Randall. Thanks a lot, my friend, for sharing that with us, and all the best to you and your brand new store as well.
All right, thank you so much. You take care.
My pleasure. Okay, Randall Smith right there. Ken, I got to tell you before we get to our next guest that it's unbelievable how many of those vape stores are in Hampton Roads. And like you said, if you can get people off of cigarettes and nicotine, that's a good thing.
Yeah, and it's also a hip thing.
Right.
It's one of those things that's in now.
Right. It's almost like that coffee shop, Now, Ken, they realize they got to sell alcohol to make it now.
Yeah.
So Starbucks is not the friendly coffee shop it used to be. They've got to push alcohol. All right, let's welcome our next guest, switching gears a little bit. Well, of course, talking about food and fun. Let's welcome Rebecca Kleinhample from the Virginia Living Museum Development Office. How are you, young lady?
Hi, Greg. I'm terrific. Thanks for having me.
Good. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. And you've got a lot going on. Let's get right to it. First of all, let's talk about your wonderful museum. It's a great time to be outdoors.
Fall is terrific here. If you haven't been on our outdoor trail, 3/4 mile boardwalk in the woods, it's beautiful. Native animals, beautiful nature, terrific place to be. Of course, the fall brings also our annual Night of the Living Museum. This is our family-friendly, non-scary event. It's always a big hit. So about 1,500 people join us. That's coming up on the 17th of October, where kids can dress, their parents can dress up. We got a lot of folks, not so young, who enjoy Halloween as well with us every year. It's from 4:30 to 8 on Saturday, October 17th, so just a few days from now. And then, of course, our big event, which I'd love to talk about, is our fundraising event, our Virginia Living Museum annual oyster roast.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's talk about it. Well, let's talk about it. It's coming up right around the corner.
Yes, about a month away, November 14. It's an annual sellout event. We have about 650 folks who love to come and enjoy our conservation garden. So this is an outside event also in the fall in the great weather. It's a little more chilly in November, so folks come in their down vest and maybe with some gloves on, outside, on the grounds. Terrific local oysters from the Rappahannock. We love to talk about our local folks who are doing such a good job with aquaculture and this great oyster industry that we love in Virginia. Mm-hmm. So we focus on the oysters, but in addition we have lots of other seafood. We've got fish fried. We fry oysters, steamed shrimp for you that day. There's hush puppies, lots of terrific additional items like a seafood chowder, sausages. We have a great dessert buffet. We've got live music. We have a DJ. We've got craft beer, and we're doing, there's a new industry now, new in quotes, distilleries and their ability to taste products. So we're going to have gin and rum tasting from a local distillery as well.
Mm-hmm. Talking to Rebecca Kleinhample, this is Sports Scene from the Virginia Living Museum. Greg Bicouvaris, glad you're with us up until 1 o'clock. It's 12:41 at Greg Bick on Twitter. For more, go to gjbtv.com. Hit the YouTube link. Just to summarize it, folks, it's fall at the Virginia Living Museum. Great time to be outdoors. They got a lot of stuff going on. Your hours are now pretty much Monday through Sunday, 9 to 5, correct?
That's right.
And, of course, you can get membership there as well, and thevlm.org, great place for kids. I know my sister and her daughter love going there as well. She's only 2, and, of course, 2-year-olds love it too. So, but, of course, they can't go to the oyster roast, but she can when she's 21, of course. And that's a good question. I know there's a lot of moms listening. Is it the 18 age group, the 21-year-old? How old can they be at this oyster roast?
21 and anywhere thereafter.
Very good. That's very, very, very important. All right. And, of course, voted best outdoor event, of course, and you have a lot of great sponsors. But, again, this is November 14th. Like you said, it does get chilly, but I remember last year you guys had some, little places to toast around and get warm around, right?
Yes, and you can also go inside the museum. We have that great dessert buffet inside and allow folks inside as well to have a little bit of a break if they need it.
Right. All right, what else can we say about the Virginia Living Museum? Just a great place. To me, it's the best museum in Hampton Roads.
Greg, I think I agree with you. I came here and brought my children originally, and I've been a supporting member and employee ever since. I got hooked.
Oh, yeah, of course. Give us the phone number there for people that want to go there.
Absolutely. 595-1900 is our general line. You can get us, and of course, you mentioned 9 to 5 every day.
All right, and of course, November 14th, the museum closes at 2. The oyster roast is outside from 3 to 6, that's it, 3 hours, correct?
That's right.
So that's a very short window, but you want to make it count, those 3 hours, folks. It's
You
going to be a lot of
gotta
fun.
buy early.
Yes, yeah, and the tickets, of course, are almost sold out, correct?
They always sell out every year. We have a $45 ticket and then say that we've got $55 ticket price the week of, but they're never available the week of.
Well, Rebecca, you're a joy to talk to. All the best to you and the staff over there, and good luck on that event on November 14th.
Thank you, Greg.
And happy Wednesday to you, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Very good. Ken, always a lot of good festivals. Of course, don't forget coming up in Newport News, the Newport News Greek Festival Fall Edition, October 22nd through 24th. That's next week. Hard to believe. For more, go to newportnewsgreekfestival.org. You got this event coming up November 14th. But this time of the year, just like the summertime, we get a lot of knocks because of the traffic and the weather and the heat and so forth. If people can just get past the tourist season, the locals have a lot going on this time of the year, Kenny.
Oh, yeah. And I agree with you that Living Museum is one of the best places to go for families. If you want to just cross the Commonwealth without having to actually drive from one end to the other, you go to the Living Museum, and you can literally go through the entire state by going through that museum. There's always something new going on, changing exhibits. The kids love it. The gift shop is terrific. They got a planetarium. If you can't find something to do, to spend a good portion of the day at the Living Museum and see all the animals and go on the walk, which is always nice, even in the fall when the leaves change. Come on, get out there and go check it out. It's a great place.
Right. And of course, folks, we combine a lot of fun with sports, politics, pop culture, pleasure, entertainment, restaurants. We do it all in the sports scene. We really make it Hampton Roads total scene. Of course, for more, log on to HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com. Don't forget, in a few weeks, November 4th, from 1 to 2, after my show, it'll be the Sports Philosophy Show with Daryl Cummings and Jack Ankerson every Wednesday from 1 to 2. That starts November the 4th, right before the Thanksgiving holiday season. A lot going on, too, in sports before we get to our next guest and so forth. A lot about Lamar Odom. Of course, folks, you are what you decide to do when you walk out the door each morning. You use substance abuses, and you're going to pay the price, Kenny. You see a lot of these athletes and movie stars cannot handle the limelight. They seem like they're under control. In reality, look at Judy Garland as an example, the most beautiful actress, most talented female actress in the history of acting. She couldn't handle her own demons.
Yeah, and even more recently, the actor who played the Joker in the Dark Knight,
Heath Ledger. Yep.
Heath Ledger. Who knew? Most of his friends didn't realize he was dealing with the issues he was, and then all of a sudden, boom, he's gone. River Phoenix, and so many others that just don't always have the support, or at least the intestinal fortitude to deal with a lot of the things that they end up having to deal with just being out in the public eye.
Very good, very good. All right, before we get to our next guest and take our break, locals tradition is CP Shuckers with locations on Shore Drive and Pacific Avenue. People love their prime ribs, seafood, pasta, burgers, wings, and much more. This is your place for sports. Chef Leon's got his bar bites going on at Shore Drive. Monday night is wing and shrimp night during Monday Night Football, and Tuesday is crab leg night. Wear your college team attire. Get half off all pitchers on Saturdays. CP Shuckers is your home for football, showcasing the SEC, Big Ten, Pac-12 networks, and all the college and NFL games. Of course, NFL on Thursday. They have college football on Friday. College all day Saturday, NFL Sunday and Monday. Eat or be eaten at CP Shuckers. Great place for entertainment, food, and fun. Go by and see Matt, Mark, and the friendly staff. Really, of course, a lot of good soccer action this time of the year, and NHL is going on too, all at CP Shuckers. All right, this is Sports Scene at Greg Bick on Twitter. I want to thank all the fans each and every week for the great comments and you listening, of course, to the premier radio interview show in all of Hampton Roads, Sports Scene, and also tunein.com. Type in WHKT to listen on your phone or your computer, where you're always learning something right here on Sports Scene. Stay tuned.
Good Italian food, daily specials, and a place people enjoy is Spaghetti Eddie's. Indulge in your mouth-watering pizza, pasta, subs, salads, appetizers, and desserts. Open 7 days a week. Log on to SpaghettiEddiesPizzaCafe.com and visit them at Taylor Road and on Eden Way North in Chesapeake for lunch and dinner. Like them on Facebook. Italian food you can count on is at Spaghetti Eddie's. When it comes to automobile service in Hampton Roads, Fink's Car Care is the destination locals have counted on for decades. Family owned and operated, they specialize in transmission service, oil changes, state inspection, radiator service, tires, alignments, and showcase Win automotive products. Fink's does it all. Military and senior discounts are available. Find them on Facebook and visit them on South Military Highway in Chesapeake and Victory Boulevard in Portsmouth, Monday through Saturday. For more, log on to finkscarcare.com and call 545-3573 today.
Mi Hogar is your restaurant for the finest Mexican cuisine in Hampton Roads. At Mi Hogar, everything is prepared fresh in a casual atmosphere. Enjoy traditional favorites such as quesadillas, tacos, burritos, and fajitas, as well as refreshing beverages. Mi Hogar has 2 locations, 4201 Granby Street in Norfolk and 801 North Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake. Call ahead at 640-7705. At Mi Hogar, there is something for everyone.
Now back to Greg Bicouvaris and Sports Scene in the Hampton Roads Online Mall.com studio.
Excuse me, Dougie Fresh. Yes! Have you ever seen a show with fellas on the mic with 1 minute rhymes that don't come out right? They bite. They never write. That's not polite. Am I lying? No, you're quite right. Well, tonight,
Ken, we really have covered it today, my friend. We've had the Admirals on, their brand new coach before anybody else in radio and TV has gotten them. We've gotten the Virginia Living Museum. We got Randall Smith talking about vaping, really cool thing. And back to your favorite topic with your kids, the STEM. And I got to tell you, we got a celebrity now. Aaron Smith is making a big appearance at Barnes & Noble coming up. And Aaron, how are you, my friend?
Doing good, Greg. How you doing?
Let's talk about STEM, and of course, you mentioned continuous transformation in your book. First of all, what exactly is it? And let's talk about STEM.
Okay. Well, STEM it stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics, and it applies to everything, believe it or not, from educators to our businesses, as it's a cycle, and it impacts everybody along the way. And I've coined the phrase continuous transformation because if you realize what STEM is, it's the ability to stay focused on people's core beliefs and allow the flexibility to adjust as the times and the resources change. And that's what STEM does, is it changes technology, it changes ideas and innovations. And you have to stay current with that time in order to keep pace with everything. And the way that they do that is through technical panels, continuously creating value within the school, making sure you get ownership within and outside the school, developing internships, utilizing resources, and the power to innovate. I mean, it's such a critical piece.
Mm-hmm. One big area that educators, we're talking STEM here for this topic in this segment, that educators and businesses alike need to focus on is getting students exposed to careers early in their lives. How can you do this?
It's really important that business partners and the community unite and work with schools across this initiative. And the way that they do that is they have to work together and develop a team at the school and do things such as creating a career day or a career center where kids can make it not only a one-stop shop, but just continuously visit, research, develop, and implement some of these ideas and will eventually turn into their pathways. And when you are doing things like that, it's important to make sure that you include those essentials. You know, kids want to know salaries. Believe it or not, they're already asking about benefits, and such as their retirement packages and how health care continues to skyrocket. And what kinds of education levels, because some degrees require just a technical, some require a PhD, just depends. But it's also significant that they tie into certifications, because that's what the industry recognizes as somebody that's not only reputable but definitely knowledgeable in their area. It's important that people in careers talk about the employment growth. You know, you don't want to shoot somebody down the road that's not going to be there in the next 10 or 20 years, but more importantly, find something that's going to be hot and trending. Mm-hmm. And when you do this, make sure you talk about resumes, what looks good on a resume, what's not good to put on a resume. But you also need to tie in people such as military recruiters and make sure that students know how to complete a job permit, because already at 15 and 16 years old, you know, they want to make sure that they're getting a job because they're already thinking about the cars and the gas, but a lot of them are also thinking about college tuition and books.
All right, we got a few more moments here with Dr. Aaron Smith on how can schools and businesses create ownership in schools and the communities, and go ahead and plug your Twitter handle.
Okay, it is at STEM School Doctor, and the way that they do that is they celebrate and the successes each and every time there is one. They want to bridge the school and community by holding joint events such as doing a blood drive or adopting a school day, and have a signing day for internships. This is a proud moment from the families to the schools to even the companies.
Mm-hmm. And what's the connection between career and technical education and STEM?
It's a huge one. What people don't realize is career technical education basically brings it to full circle, and it connects with STEM because STEM is the framework from which students learn the key components, and the CTE, Career and Technical Education, gives them the job embedded knowledge and skills. So they have to have one with the other to be truly effective with it.
Man, look at you. Going to be at Barnes & Noble coming up this week. Talk about it.
I'm really excited. I think a lot of people are going to be there. It is also going to be with the Newport News Reading Council in celebration of American Education Week, and just, it's a chance to interact with our community and just see a lot of folks and successes along the way.
Well, when and where? There's a lot of Barnes & Nobles. The one in Newport News. Talk about when and where you'll be there.
Yes, that is going to be tomorrow afternoon at the Barnes & Noble Newport News. Like you said, it's going to be from 4 to 6 p.m. And there I'll be signing copies, answering questions, and really helping people understand how important STEM is and what I can do to help them continue along their pathway to development.
What a platform, what a great bookstore that is. And, and it's really a lot of fun. Of course, folks, you can always go to Buffalo Wild Wings afterwards, too. We love them, too, and it's right next door. Aaron, all the best to you, my friend. Go ahead and plug your Twitter handle and website.
Okay. The STEM site is just stemschooldoctor.com, dr.com, and the Twitter handle is at stemschooldoctor. And looking forward to seeing a lot of you folks tomorrow night at Barnes & Noble.
Again, the hours?
4 to 6 p.m. at the Newport News Barnes & Noble.
Aaron, always a pleasure, my friend. All the best. Thank you for all that you do as well in aviation.
Thanks again, Greg. I appreciate you having me.
My pleasure. All right there, Ken. I remember you and your family had a little STEM school study there a few weeks ago.
Yeah, the night before we had Aaron on last time, we'd gone through the whole big open house thing at the school with STEM in excruciating detail.
And a lot of our parents...
I guess there's some parents that just didn't
Of
get it.
course. All right, Ken, let's go to What Teased Me Off.
What Tees You Off? Presented by GJBTV.com.
And, of course, Ken, you know this, multiple people in one party, but only one person purchasing in the line. One. He's like 4 or 5 people in the group. They all have to be in line with that group. They just can't stand aside.
There are some people that just can't do anything by themselves. I don't know what the story is. They always have to have their entourage with them.
And it's even worse. We've talked about this before on What Teased Me Off, that parents that have to hide behind their kids. Oh, my kid can't do it. How do you know? Why don't you ask the kid who's almost 18 now?
Yeah.
Instead of hiding behind the kid. You never see people, Ken, who love to exercise, smile that much. For all that you that love to exercise so much, why don't you ever smile?
Well, do take it all rather seriously, don't they?
Right. I've said it before, Ken. I cannot stand walking upstairs. Todd Stadium has got to be the worst building in the world to broadcast a football game because I have to walk upstairs. I'm used to NFL and college stadiums where at least you have elevators, and I'm in very good shape. I just don't like stairs.
No, I don't either. That's why our house is a one-story house.
Ken, you never notice that people that are in those lines we were just talking about, they're never smiling, but they're always happy when they're at one of those dollar places when their bill is only $5. You can't. The old scenario, do you want chips and a drink with this? We know those are ripoffs because the chips and drinks are about $2 each, and they're worth about 10 cents each.
Yeah, you've got to stop hanging out at the Walmart. It's driving you crazy.
Right. Movie concessions, Ken, you know this firsthand, my friend. At least at the big chain movie stores, people still get their popcorn, but, popcorn's not as good as it used to be. But most people go to the dollar places and stuff their bags with candy.
Yeah, I've seen that in some places where they'll bring their own things. But there are a few places, some of the local places like the Narrow and the Commodore, where everything is fresh and the concessions are inexpensive. So
right.
Be aware, if some of the big chains, you might be better off bringing your own stuff, but don't pass up some of the goodies like the baklava at the Narrow, that are available
nice.
at some of the local
Well, the guy there at the Narrow, we've had him on Sports Scene before.
Tension Tom,
Yep, he's very involved with the Norfolk Greek Festival as well. Don't forget the Newport News Greek Festival coming up October 22nd through 24th. Go to newportnewsgreekfestival.org. It's next week's, folks. Free admission, free parking. Ken, last thing, I understand speed bumps, but the extra big speed bumps, really? do we really need to go to get our tires checked every time we go through a speed bump?
I don't know who to wish a pox on, the people that speed through areas they shouldn't be, that require the speed bumps, or the people that design the speed bumps. A pox on them both. Speed bumps, the lower ones, okay, I can dig that. But the ones that scrape the bottom of your car and you've got like a 12 to 15-inch clearance, come on, what are you doing? Just not climb every mountain.
Exactly.
It's just a speed bump.
All right, I want to thank our guests again, Eric Veilleux from the Norfolk Admirals, Rebecca Kleinhample from the Virginia Living Museum, Randall Smith talking about vaping, Aaron Smith talking about STEM, of course. For more, go to gjbtv.com, hit the YouTube link for archive shows like Rick Doc Walker last week, and of course, HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com, browse, shop, visit, at Greg Bick on Twitter, at Sports Highlight, at GJBTV, HROnlineMall.com. Football, baseball, basketball coming up, hockey, all going on in the world of sports. And, of course, we'll be back next week. For Ken Johnson, I'm Greg Bicouvaris. Happy Wednesday.
Birthdays, holidays, or
and we'll talk to you soon.
AM
1650, The Answer.